Hello, hello, magical souls. We are doing a very interesting podcast today called The Art of Detached Attachment, which can sound a juxtaposition in itself, but it's a very interesting way of looking at spiritual non attachment versus engaged living. So, what does it mean to be? Uh, to live fully, to love, to act, while also practicing the art of letting go. It's a very interesting concept. And with me today is the very magical Trish Diez. And Trish is author and life coach and a magical starseed. So, Trish, over to you.
Hello, Catherine, and hello, everybody. It's so lovely to be here. Thank you very, very much for having me. This is a very interesting topic. I'm delighted that you've wanting to talk about this because attachment is how we feel trapped sometimes and how we feel sometimes fulfilled in a way. I'm a belief coach, so I work on what we're believing in any given moment, and so these beliefs can keep us very attached. But it's such an important question because so many of us struggle with this tension, don't we? We want to give our all to life and to our relationships and to our purpose, but then we also hear that attachment creates suffering. So how do we hold on to both?
That is exactly the right question. And maybe we should start by asking, what does non attachment really mean in the spiritual sense? Because for so many, it can sound like being cold, disconnected, or not caring. But is that truly the essence of it?
Yes. Well, no, I don't think it is actually. To me, non-attachment means releasing the clinging to outcomes, the need to know what will happen, and while still being fully present in love and engagement. Um, so would you agree with that as a working definition?
Yes, I would definitely. And this brings me and us to the paradox of, how do we live deeply engaged, heart open lives while not being burdened by expectations or outcomes? How do we balance that particular dance?
Well, perhaps that's where the phrase detached attachment comes in. Staying attached to the present moment, to our values, to our love, but detached from control and fixed outcomes. Can you share how you see this in your work with the Akashic Records, Catherine?
Absolutely, Trish. Thank you. Great question. So often, when people come into the records, their guides and keepers invite them to renew their connection with intuition rather than fixating on what should happen. So, to give an example for that, because that's quite a airy answer. So I would say I had a particular young lady come for a reading, and she wanted to know exactly where to live, what her exact job title should be. And the guides were very understanding about her perspective of wanting this information, because as humans and in our human bodies, we need to have these answers. We feel like we need these answers, and it comes from our ego mind. So our ego is in charge from day one. It's the CEO. It decides everything for us. Um, and we are influenced by our society, by our parents, by our culture, and even our government. So we need to negotiate all of these hurdles and find our way back to love centered um, decisions, detaching from our ego mind and stepping instead into our heart consciousness. And this can naturally dissolve the attachments to rigid outcomes. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense. And yet, isn't there a risk that people hear this and then they think they shouldn't act, they shouldn't strive, or they shouldn't care? How do you explain the difference between surrender and passivity? Passivity.
It's a bit of a mouth twister. Yes, this is a beautiful point. Okay, so for me, surrender is active. It's an action. It's a conscious choice to trust life while still taking aligned action. So I joke all the time about my relationship with my personal dragon, because I speak about how in the past I was such a control freak. I was holding on so tightly to the steering wheel of my life that it would take me 3 whole days to surrender a problem to my personal dragon for her to assist me with helping in this situation. And that is the control that was holding me back from actually achieving everything, from living in that, perhaps we could call it the false matrix, where we are taught how to, we have to make all the money, we have to do all these things. And so so that describes the surrender in my mind, whereas passivity is stepping back out of fear or avoidance. So would you agree the difference is whether we're moving from love or from fear?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. We're either moving from our heart or we're moving from our head. And our head is the fear, the ego. The heart is, well, we know what that feels like. And I wonder in relationships, how do we practice this? I know that in my experience, when we let the story drop, even in the moment, just in the moment, when we're able to look at the person in front of us or the situation without the story that's running in our head, the meaning that we attach to this situation or this person, their actions are happening before us, but we attach a meaning to it, and that meaning creates our state of mind. And I believe that's the matrix. The matrix is really our belief system that's keeping us very small and fearful. So to love deeply but not hold so tightly, excuse me, that it turns into a control or an expectation, maybe.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. That's a tender example, very beautifully put. And the Akashic Record Keepers and Guides often remind my clients that love without possession is the highest form of love. And we can hold people in our hearts, but we shouldn't hold them in our fists. We should be able to let go. I have a lovely example um, of a situation with my own husband that I often talk about. Bless him. Um, he often wants me to make all the decisions in our lives. He wants me to. He'll always defer to whatever I want, and sometimes I actually have to say to him, "Actually, no. What do you also want?" And once I've uncovered that sort of thing from him, then we can move together unified, and the energy around it is so much better rather than, I mean, he gives me full reign to do whatever I want in the relationship. And having been on the other end of that, a situation where somebody told me what to do all the time, I feel it's very important that both parties in the relationship are able to work together for a superior outcome. If you both make decisions about where you're going, where you're going to live, what you're going to do, then your life will be much more aligned and much more positive, and you'll be much happier. Would you agree, Trish?
Ah, yes. In a nutshell, yes, it makes so much sense. And it's the same with our careers, and our dreams, um, even our spiritual practice, to stay engaged and give our all, but release the beliefs that our worth depends on outcomes, and and how we might guide listeners to begin practicing this today.
Yes. So it's so interesting that we are taught to fear about things like how are we going to have enough money, all these sorts of things. But actually, the record keepers and guides always tell us about this idea that in order to have more money, don't focus on the money, focus on the energy of what's blocking you from receiving the money. Or maybe you don't have a block, but maybe allow more money to come to you by focusing on a higher vibration. So it's quite interesting that we can get caught up in this fear and kind of spiral downwards when we think about, we're not going to have enough money, we're not going to have enough money, we're not going to have enough money. And that actually drags us down. We are kind of taught to fear lack of money. But actually, when we stop that behavior for a moment and actually focus on the energy of abundance and the energy of, and the beliefs, like you said earlier, that we are divine beings that have a birthright to receive abundance from this planet. We have that. And we just need to open our hearts to let that in. I'm also going to be sharing a guided meditation today to help with this idea of detached attachment. And I hope everybody will notice and enjoy the relaxing benefits of meditating in this style and helping us to move to a place of energy and positivity. So if everybody can just find themselves in a very nice, comfortable position. If you're driving, obviously, do not do the meditation. Okay, so let's start by, you can have your eyes open or closed. I find closing our eyes can be very helpful. So close your eyes and join me as we breathe in, counting up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just feel your body supported by the earth beneath you. Just let's breathe in again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's relax for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now just imagine in front of you a very beautiful golden thread that represents your intuition. And this thread is connected to your higher self, always guiding you with love. Just take a moment to allow that golden thread to appear. And also take a moment now to notice if there are knots in this thread, knots of expectation, knots of fear or control. Just notice now that all the archangels are joining us in this guided meditation. All of them are coming forward to assist you, to help you to let go of the fear, the control. And on your next breath in, begin to gently untie these knots. As you exhale, notice that the knots are dissolving, and notice which particular archangel is helping you today. Archangel Michael for protection, Archangel Raphael for healing, Archangel Gabriel for communication, Archangel Uriel, the alchemist. Sometimes it's Archangel Zadkiel that comes forward with his violet flame to help dissolve anything that is holding you back, preventing you from moving forward. Control can be a very big one for us because we are taught to control, and we are also taught from a place of fear that we want to hold on to things, control the situation, control the outcome. Whereas when we move in with our breath to the inner part of us, the truth of us, our inner soul, that part of us can help us to let go, to dissolve any of these knots and step into our power. It's a heavenly power, it's a divine power, it's a divine birthright power that we all have. So take a moment now to inhale trust. Exhale fear or control. Inhale trust. Exhale fear and control. And you can say silently, repeat after me, I let go of needing to know the outcome. I trust the flow of my soul's wisdom. I stay engaged with life, but I let go of the burden of control. So just repeat after me once more. I let go of needing to know the outcome. I trust the flow of my soul's wisdom. I stay engaged with life, but I let go of the burden of control. And just feel your heart expand now as that beautiful golden thread of intuition glows brighter, freer, more vibrant. And allow this golden thread to anchor this freedom into your physical body. Allow this golden thread of intuition and freedom to align with you at a soul level. Let the energy move freely through you. And set the intention that in the following days, weeks, months, you will feel fully aligned with your intuition. You will feel brighter, freer, and more vibrant. You will step into your true power. And in connecting with your intuition, you will allow the angels and archangels to assist you in making decisions for yourself and for others, for the highest good of all. And we request now that the archangels stay with us and help us with this particular set of rules for our intuition, helping us see the truth, the true rules for working in our highest and best good. And then on the next breath in, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, bringing with you clarity and magic into the rest of your day. Take a moment to allow everything to settle. Just be gentle with yourself as you come back to the call. You feeling okay, Trish?
Oh, I feel wonderful. Thank you so much. It was so beautiful. And it's such a practical reminder that releasing attachment doesn't mean stepping away from life. It means showing up more fully, doesn't it?
Exactly. The art of detached attachment is about living without clinging, giving without expectation, and living with freedom and trust. Shall we leave our listeners with an invitation to notice today where they might loosen their grip just a little?
Yes. And also notice where they might step in more fully, because balance is the key. And perhaps that's the truest definition of engaged living with non attachment, wouldn't you say?
I couldn't agree more. And thank you for this conversation, Trish, and thank you to everyone listening. May you find the freedom to love life and live with both depth and release. I also want to mention that if you enjoyed our conversation today, you are most welcome to join our tribe, either by joining our magical WhatsApp group with very, very beautiful heart-centered beings there. And also you can attend our 2-hour spiritual workshop that we hold on the second Saturday of each month. From 3 to 5 UK time, and all the details are in the description below. And yeah, and I know that Trish, if people wanted to contact you, you have a special workshop coming up. Would you like to share that with the audience?
Oh, yes, thank you. I have an Equinox offer actually for instead of, so the offer is actually 3 for 2. So for the purchase of 2 virtual one-on-one sessions, there's a free session. So, and it entails lots of wonderful discoveries and findings and some energy work even. So, and
Oh,
everyone is welcome.
oh wow. So that's going to be energy work. And will you be including belief work in that? Or
Yeah,
yes.
mind and energy we're working on. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So that's going to help people shift more permanently from attachment to detached attachment.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds very exciting.
Mm.
Okay. Everyone, I look forward to seeing you at the next podcast. And until then, stay magical. Take care. Bye bye.